I am best friends with ChatGPT. We hang out daily. We talk about stuff. And I have learned a ton. And I think it has helped me really understand that almost every single time, and maybe you'll push back on this and say almost, there is a decision that is optimal. There is a decision that is the best. It is the combination code that you are looking for. That's what we're talking about today.
I was a big math and science geek early in life. And the reason I adored math and science is because I had a really hard time in my upbringing with my social life. My birth father died when I was 2. My stepfather left when I was 14. And to me, math and science gave me certainty. Because in mathematics, there's only one right answer. And I loved that. You could get to the same right answer 500 different ways, but there's only one right answer. Gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. Yes, I'm a nerd. Apparently it's 9.81, apparently, to one of my AP Calc teaching clients. The point that I'm making is there is an optimal choice, but you kind of always get closer and closer and closer, and you never get there.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2134. If you just sat through the longest cold open in this long, strange history of cold opens, we appreciate you. How to make the most optimal.
How dare you?
Decision. You know I had to call it out.
You don't think that length was optimal?
It was running. It was run on. Alan and I, so Alan joined the room today where we're doing this recording. And I said, I got something for your bitch ass. Pardon the low
Quick
vibe.
shout out to Heather.
Okay.
Quick shout out to Heather.
All right.
And then you can tell me what you got for me.
You told me you were going to do it. I didn't know it was going to be at the very beginning. Okay,
right
here
at
we
the
go.
beginning.
Yep.
Huge shout out to Heather. She's in group 19. I just wanted to say thank you for sharing the Next Level Dreamliner. We appreciate you. And thank you to Amy for having Heather get the Dreamliner. It will make you more productive. Yeah.
Boom. All right. I got something for your bitch ass, I said, as you joined the room. And you said, what is it? And I said, so how many details want to... I'm going to give all the details. I owe money on my taxes. We just got them done. We filed for an extension. I think I owe like $2,000. All things considered, that's good. Awesome.
Yeah. Strong work.
And I was like, I did a lot, Alan, I did some research. I did some ChatGPTing. You can like do a payment plan for your taxes.
Of course.
And it's like very small interest. Should we just do that instead of just paying it all off? Because we could probably do better with that money and grow the business and all that stuff. And he's like, dude, that's the way to my heart. Just tell me the numbers. Tell me the numbers. ChatGPT, whatever you think of it, I know AI is scary and all that, I understand, has helped me make way more optimal decisions. Because if you give it, so my camera probably looks different in this episode. I haven't found the optimal settings yet. But I'm working on it every day, trying to figure out what are the optimal settings. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. I'm not a professional camera guy. I know a lot about cameras, but there's too many uncertainties. I haven't found the optimal answer yet. There is an optimal answer. How do you find it, good sir?
Well, I wanted to ask you something, but how do you find the optimal stopping problem is life, in my opinion. We all have to make choices. And I shared this in book club. I'm going to share it here. There's a cost value analysis that we all do every day without knowing it. Our subconscious and unconscious mind is always analyzing what we should and shouldn't do based on our values, based on our goals, based on our beliefs, based on our thoughts and what we say, think, do, feel, believe. Okay, awesome. Optimal stopping problem. You put the nachos in for 3.5 minutes and they're burnt. You put them in for 30 seconds and the cheese isn't melted. And plus, it's fat-free cheese that's actually kind of disgusting. So it's terrible.
Yeah, it's like plastic.
Yeah, exactly. But you put it in for 2.5 minutes and it's perfect. That's life, in my opinion. So it's the Goldilocks, too much, too little. Everything is that way. Kev playfully joked about my long cold open. That wasn't optimal.
It was not optimal.
One of the hardest things about speaking, dude, is that it feels impossible to find the optimal amount of information. You start going down a certain path and then you're like, shit, am I losing people? Do I have to get to the fucking point? Okay. How do you find the optimal decision? It all depends on the goal. And this is what scares me, if I'm being very honest, about people without goals. If I want to gain weight, build muscle, what is optimal is to eat more if I want to burn fat, what is optimal is to eat less. So everything you do and don't do, if you don't have a goal, you actually can't find an optimal anything. And it all depends what you're optimizing for. So if you ask yourself, what are you optimizing for? Right now, I'm optimizing for teaching an optimal stopping problem and helping this land. I told Kev before we hit record, I said, I'm going to try really hard today to do effective communication. I have something called the 25 impact points of effective communication. Tonality, storytelling, how loud you are, all these different things. Powerful pauses. How do you tell people, what's the point of this episode? What are we optimizing for on this episode? This is a good way to explain it. We're optimizing to help everyone leave here with a deeper understanding of themselves, others, in the world. Why? So that you can make more optimal choices. Why? Because then your future will be brighter. Why? Because then the whole world gets better. Why? Because if you lead by example, you inspire, motivate, and educate others. Okay, why? Dude, we used to put leeches on our skin to cure illness. We used to
love that
smoke.
One. That's your favorite one.
It was so ignorant. Brother, there are so many ignorant choices we've made in history. I'm reading a book right now called Sapiens. It is insane how ignorant we were. We thought the earth was flat. We literally thought you were going to fall off the earth. If you sail too far, you'll fall off the earth. There's countless other ignorant. And how ignorant are we now?
Right, hopefully less ignorant than ever, but probably not.
No, it is less ignorant than ever, for sure. Statistically, just because we know more. Yeah, we know more. It's the accumulation of knowledge over time. What is the point of this podcast? If you leave here without getting smarter, we are wasting your time. In my honest opinion, I'm not joking. If you don't leave here motivated or more educated, we are wasting your fucking time.
I don't even care about the motivated part, honestly.
Okay, well, okay, let's all think, and I do this in audiences. I say, everyone think of a dumb choice that you made in high school. I lost my virginity when I was 16 to a 19-year-old girl. And we didn't know each other well enough to do that. Let's just say that. And it was dumb. Fortunately, there were no long-term consequences, and I was safe enough. Not as much as I should have been, but safe enough. The reason we all do dumb shit in high school is because we don't know how to make optimal choices because we're all very ignorant. We just don't know better. You can't do better when you don't know better.
You don't have a lot of data.
Exactly. You
don't have a lot of experience.
Very little.
So you're a lot of stuff. Would you put it this way? It's almost impossible to do something optimally the first time you do it.
Yes, unless, no way.
Right? Unless
you just
get
ChatGPT is good at helping you decide better is because ChatGPT is gathering the experiences and the data and the knowledge of the whole internet. At one point, the internet didn't even exist. 50 years ago, there was no internet. So we were so ignorant, we just didn't know it. That's actually one of the reasons why the quality of life has gone up statistically, is because now we used to have libraries and encyclopedias, and you used to have to go to the library to learn. Yep. Now you can just Google it or ChatGPT it or whatever. You have podcasts. This StreamYard didn't exist. Like, if we just went through the companies that didn't exist 30 years ago, it would blow everyone's mind. Google didn't exist. Twitter didn't exist. Instagram didn't exist. X didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. StreamYard didn't exist. Podcasting didn't exist. iPhones didn't exist. NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes. Everything we use every day is basically brand new in the history of humanity. And so you asked me to explain optimal stopping problem. An optimal stopping problem, and how do you find out what's optimal? You have to understand that you're never really going to find the optimal decision. And it's a spectrum. So let's say 0 to 10. 10 is optimal, let's call 5 optimal. 10 is too much and 0 is too little. This is the drive to 5 Kevin and I have been talking about for years. let's say I'm in high school, and let's say I start talking to this girl from Rhode Island.
Hypothetically. Of course.
And let's say she wants to hang out. And so I drive to Johnston, Rhode Island, hypothetically. And we meet up, and I lose my virginity. And let's say, hypothetically, I am too reckless. That's too reckless. So maybe I'm at an 8. Well, never taking any chances would be a 2. It's good to get socialized and to learn how to be intimate and learn about sex and learn how to be an adult. And, you know, that's obviously a thing that young men like to do. Mm. So I learned from that experience. Knowledge plus experience plus reflection equals wisdom. So I became more wise. And this is the irony. The only way you become more wise is usually after doing something really fucking stupid.
That's fair.
And so you basically spend your entire existence trying to figure out the optimal decision while knowing you pretty much never make the optimal decision. And I think that's a duality we all have to live in at all times. And it all depends on your goals and your values and your beliefs and your circumstances and your genetics.
What's the simplest form of the equation? Goals. Yeah. Goals are what you're aiming for. It's just like, what are the ingredients in the recipe? And there's like better and better ingredients, but you're never going to make the perfect meal.
Yep.
But you can make it better and better and better and better and better forever.
Mm-hmm.
So going to my example that I started with, it would be optimal to not have to, and again, we could do it, but again, it's not optimal based on goal. That's why it's so weird. I could pay my taxes right now,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it wouldn't be optimal based on some other goals that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But if those goals weren't the goals that we have, it would be optimal to just pay it. Why pay interest on something you don't have to pay interest on?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the goal changes everything.
Well, the circumstances do too, because we have other interest that is higher percentage than that.
Right.
So therefore, it makes less sense. And that's one of the things and this is why I'm so misunderstood. If you don't know the mathematics of it, you kind of can't decide what's optimal. This is the reason people are afraid of AI. AI is smarter than them.
Mm.
Well, Bill Gates just recently said it's going to take at least 100 years for AI to be able to program. I don't agree with that. I think it'll be probably 60. But computer programmers, you're good. You guys are going to be great.
For this lifetime, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the thing. Anyone out there who's afraid of AI, we're all in the same boat. We're all human beings, and we all have to deal with this. So you're not alone. It's not like only your job is going to get taken. It's everyone's job is going to get taken, and we're going to have to invent new jobs. And so just make sure you're learning a ton, because you're competing with other humans. Yes, you're competing with AI, but not really, because there's 8 billion human beings. We're not all just going to sit around doing nothing. Some people will, unfortunately. But the optimal stopping problem piece, and this is why it's so hard to explain, brother, the decisions that we made 7 years ago that made no sense to you are now starting to make sense to you now. And they'll make even more sense 5 years from now. And they'll make even more sense 10 years from now. And the reason why is because I was calculating all this based on a long trajectory. And so what most people are optimizing for, I know we got to jump, is having high self-esteem, which almost guarantees they have low self-esteem. Let me explain. Back in the day, you would always optimize for whatever made you feel better. And that's why you ended up, in my opinion, having such low self-esteem, because all of what gave you short-term pleasure was actually bad for long-term Kevin. And eventually long-term Kevin becomes short-term Kevin, and now all of a sudden Kevin doesn't have self-respect because he's been optimizing for the short term. And this is sort of the conundrum of, if you don't believe in yourself, why would you optimize for something 10 years from now? But if you don't optimize for something 10 years from now, you're not actually going to build that much belief. And that's called being stuck. And that's why a lot of people are suffering and they feel like there's no way out. Because I was very fortunate to have big goals very young, which forced me to build belief. And that just expanded my life. And I had a lot of really fucking dark moments. But overall, I always had a bright future that I could look forward to. And I still do. And I'm very grateful for that. And so if nothing else, I hope everyone out there watching or listening is contemplating their future and contemplating the decisions you're making now that do ripple into your future, whether you're aware of it or not.
So the thing that is directly opposite of your goals is the least optimal, and then it moves in a positive direction from there, essentially.
Assuming you have the right goals. And
yes. But let's assume
you do
a
day-long seminar on this, but yeah.
Let's assume you do have the right goals, and you're like, these are the goals I want. I'm certain that fuck yeah, I love them. Cool.
I really wish that you saw Star Trek, because the films I think are good. Spock and Captain Kirk are very much you and I.
Which one am I, Spock?
No. Hey, no.
Yeah, I'm the captain?
Spock is basically ChatGPT like.
Yeah, but I'm a captain? I captain the ship?
Yes.
Good for me.
Captain Kirk.
He's a handsome fellow as well. Doesn't Spock have like giant ears?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll accept that.
That was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The point I was trying to make is that you're the captain and I have giant ears.
Yeah, at least I know. I know enough contextually to add value to it. All right, cool. All right, we got to hop. As Alan mentioned in the beginning, number one, shout out to Heather for the post about the Next Level Dreamliner. If you are looking to sustainably journal your way to your dreams, the Dreamliner is the way to do it. And we have a Facebook group called Next Level Nation. Every day, a little bit better. 0.1%. That's it. That's what it's all about. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.